Welcome to the Better Together Here podcast with your hosts Devin
and Ashley,
helping you make the most of your time in New York City. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Better Together Here podcast. My name is Devin.
And my name is Ashley.
Today's episode, we're going to give you 15 different breathtaking views in New York City. Many of them are going to be kind of your classic buildings, skyline views, but we're actually going to give you a handful that are very unique and maybe something you aren't expecting when it comes to views in New York City. So let's get right into it. All right, for each of these, we're going to let you know if it's free or paid. Many of them are free, luckily. So here we go. The first one is the Great Lawn. The Great Lawn is in Central Park. It's a sprawling grassy area. There's baseball fields. It's been host to some massive iconic concerts, the likes of Queen, Simon and Garfunkel. More recently, they do the Global Citizen Festival there, which has names like Kendrick Lamar, Billie Eilish, Metallica, Cardi B. And this area is some of the best views that you can get of the Midtown skyline.
This view is particularly awesome because not only are you seeing a really huge, beautiful green space, but behind it you get all of the views of the Midtown skyscrapers, including the very tall new buildings on Billionaires Row.
Yeah, so the best place to go here is, it's kind of a loop. The Great Lawn itself is a loop. If you go to the more northern or uptown part and then look downtown, you'll see this amazing view. And that is completely free to go and explore and walk around in Central Park. Okay, next on our list, the Met Cloisters. So the Met Cloisters is related to the Met itself, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is on Fifth Avenue on kind of the Upper East Side. The Met Cloisters is way up in the most northern part of the Manhattan Island. And this is a different style of museum. It's like
more medieval art, right?
Yes, exactly. It's more medieval art.
The Met Cloisters is particularly known for the unicorn tapestries.
Yes.
Which are pretty cool, and they're huge.
They're massive. And yeah, it's like a monastery style building, and there's, like Ashley said, tapestries, manuscripts, sculptures, like all kinds of info on medieval life. It's very, very interesting. But arguably the best part and the most beautiful views at the Met Cloisters, they have unbelievable gardens. They have these well-manicured gardens that have all kinds of herbs and plants and flowers, and it just feels historic when you're in there because the building is that kind of old monastery style, and there's this garden next to it. But then additionally, there's kind of these outdoor walking areas, like I guess you could call it like a terrace or a balcony, but there's tons of space, and you get these sweeping views of the Hudson River and the surrounding area. It's lush, it's green at the right time of year, and it's just these beautiful, beautiful views.
For the Met Cloisters Garden, I would recommend going anywhere from like the springtime to the fall time. If you go in the winter, you'll still see the Hudson, but it's not going to be very green and pretty.
This one does have a cost. Tickets are around $30. If you are a New York City resident, it is pay what you wish. One thing that is nice about the Cloisters is if you go up to the Cloisters at the beginning of the day and you still have the energy, your ticket to the Cloisters can actually also get you into the Met, so you can do both in one day. All right, next on our list, very much the opposite of a museum, is Forest Hills Stadium. So Forest Hills Stadium, it's an old tennis stadium that's actually been converted into a music venue. Forest Hills is a section of Queens. It's a bit further out, takes 30 to 40 minutes to get there from Midtown Manhattan, but it is a beautiful venue. They basically took the kind of where the actual tennis court is, and the one kind of third of it they turned into a stage, and then the court itself is kind of the open floor area,
like
GA.
Standing area.
And then there's stadium seating kind of on the horseshoe around it. There's some great acts that come through in the summer. It's this really epic experience because you kind of are down in like the concourse area and you can't even really hear the music, and then you step up the stairs, and as you like come out, the music just kind of fills because it's so soundproofed. It's amazing. But the best part, or one of the best parts, is the view. So if you go to Forest Hill Stadium, you go to see a concert, make sure you walk to the very top of the stadium seating. You look out in the distance and you see Forest Hills, which is just this kind of quaint, almost suburban feeling neighborhood in Queens, very lush and green. But then in the distance, especially at night, you can see the New York skyline, like the Manhattan skyline. And then you kind of can just spin around 180 and you see the concert below you with lights and lasers and music and people vibing. Like it's bliss, honestly.
I highly recommend, if you're going to be in the city and you are a fan of concerts, I think you should check their lineup. Every time we've had the opportunity to go to a concert at Forest Hills, we've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for example, this summer, there's already been a bunch that have already happened, but they're names like the Black Keys, Leon Bridges, Above and Beyond, Alabama Shakes, Mount Joy, Chapel Roan. I mean, all kinds of names. And this venue, it's top notch. We've always had an amazing experience there. And that view that you get that we described, unbeatable. All right, next on our list, this is probably what most people think about when they think about views in New York City, and that's an observation deck. We've done an entire episode where we gave you the pros and cons of each observation deck. We also told you our favorite, which is the Edge. Of course, for these, you're going to be spending anywhere from like $35 to $50, but you just can't get those same views anywhere else. Anywhere else that's free, you can get good views and you can get pretty high up, but these observation decks, I mean, some of them you're like, 70 stories up or something like that, and you just get completely unobstructed views of the entire city of New York.
I personally am a fan of observation decks in general, especially if you want really, really cool views. I recommend going like an hour before the sunset, so you get the daytime views, you get some sunset, and you can get nighttime views depending on how long you stay. I believe usually if you're going to get like a sunset slot, they charge you more, but if you go an hour before, usually it's a little bit cheaper.
Like Ashley was saying, the sunset views, basically the time slots are like, for most of them, it's every like 10 or 15 minute time slots, and they jack up the price on the sunset slots. So if you just choose the one right before the sunset timing starts, it'll be anywhere from $5 to $10 cheaper. You can get there a little bit early even, see the daytime views, catch the sunset. If you want to make an evening out of it, you could even stay up there. Most of them have places for food and drink that's expensive, but then you can get the nighttime views as well. So really, an observation deck is like kind of the best way to get expansive views of the city.
And if you're not from a big city and you haven't been on the top of a super tall building before, I personally think it's worth it. Like, yeah, it's expensive. You're probably going to pay, like Devin said, anywhere from like $35 to $50. But when else are you going to have an experience like that where you can be that high up in the sky and see Manhattan from the sky? I think it's pretty cool.
Next on our list is Governor's Island. So Governor's Island actually used to be, I believe, an army base or some type of military base, and then it was the quarters for the governor, as the name implies. But now it's kind of just this space that doesn't get a lot of use, and there's not a ton to do out there. Let me back up. There are some activities to do. It's not necessarily somewhere that I would like go out of my way to go. I've only been there twice, and both of them were for an all-day soccer tournament that I played in. But the views out there are amazing. Number one, you get a ferry out. And so as you're taking the ferry out, you kind of see like the New York City skyline just going away from you. You end up out on Governor's Island. There's great views of the downtown skyline, but you can also walk or bike around Governor's Island and kind of go to the far end, and you get this amazing, pretty close-up view of the Statue of Liberty with nothing in front of you. And then, of course, when you come back, you kind of just are slowly going into the city is what it feels like, and it's beautiful views. What's nice too, on the weekends before 10:30 a.m., the ferries are free. After that, I think it's like $4 or $5. I'm not exactly sure, but if you take the free ferry out, of course, coming back, it's always free.
Is it free on the weekdays?
Weekdays, it is not free, but there are ferries, and we'll link the full ferry schedule to Governor's Island, but it's definitely something worth checking out if you want, especially if you like to kind of just cruise around on a bike and have something that's a little more leisurely. There's not like a lot of cars out there, and it's a very quiet spot because not a ton of people go on a frequent basis, so great spot to check out. Next on our list is Brooklyn Bridge Park and Brooklyn Heights Promenade. We kind of lump these two together. They're very close to each other. We've done an entire episode about things to do in Dumbo, which is where Brooklyn Bridge Park is, but I would say those are some of the best views of downtown Manhattan, like of One World Trade and that kind of southern tip of Manhattan, because you're on the Brooklyn side and you're right on the water in Brooklyn Bridge Park. You've got the bridges to your right. You've got the skyline in front of you. It's beautiful.
I would say this is one of the more epic views that we have on the list.
Yeah.
Specifically because you get the Brooklyn Bridge, views of Manhattan, views of the East River. It's just a really cool spot.
Yeah, and Brooklyn Bridge Park also has like free activities and events. There's a market near there that you can check out with a bunch of food places.
It's called Time Out Market. We like that place a lot.
Yeah, and we'll link to our episode about Dumbo that you can kind of learn more about all of that. And then nearby is the Brooklyn Heights Promenade, which is kind of an elevated tree-lined walkway, which gives you similar views, but in a little bit more of a serene environment. So those two are definitely worth checking out. Okay, number 7 on our list. This is actually not technically in New York City, but it's right across the Hudson River in New Jersey. It's Newport Green Park. So it's roughly parallel to the West Village. So you get these amazing views of kind of the whole western side of Manhattan. So you can see a lot of the downtown things. You get the Midtown skyline. I've only been there once, and it's one of the more unique views that we have on this list because it's just like you can't really get that experience anywhere else other than on the Jersey side of the Hudson. Newport Green Park in particular, it's a 4-acre park. It has a little sandy beach area. There's a play area. They have special events, and you can get there on the PATH train for only $3. So it's a pretty affordable way to like go get unique views of New York and just kind of explore a little bit of New Jersey. And that leads us to this episode's You'll Have to Check It Out segment.
The next stop is
Russian Vodka Room. All right, Russian Vodka Room. I think we had saved this as like a wants on our wants list, but on Valentine's Day, I think it was, we're just going to go explore Midtown and we're going to go just to new restaurants or bars that we haven't been to. And we went into Russian Vodka Room. We made it for their happy hour. I would definitely go there during their happy hour. The prices are a little bit more affordable, but like it sounds, it is all Russian and so much vodka in a funky room.
Yeah, like they really do tell you exactly what it's going to be before you come in. I'm pretty sure we had the same bartender / waitress both times that we've been.
Yeah.
She's just like this super nice older Russian lady, super thick accent. One thing that's like really cool about this place is they have huge jugs of vodka everywhere that they are like constantly infusing. So the drinks that you are going to have are infused there in-house.
And that's part of their daily happy hour, which is every day from 4 to 7. There's a few items that are on it, but arguably the best is to try their vast array of flavored vodkas for only $7. So you could do a shot of it. You could do, a vodka soda. You could do vodka mixed with something else, but $7. And they have all kinds of flavors, including pomegranate, raspberry. And my favorite, just because it's so unique, is the horseradish infused vodka. I mean, prepare yourself. It's intense, but it's really good.
I personally don't love the horseradish one, but I do appreciate that they have it on the menu because it is unique. I really like the raspberry one. That one's really good.
They also have great food there. They have some classic Russian dishes, including different like dumplings, and we had a chicken dish there. Everything we've had has been very, very good. And the vibe is just great. They have live music most evenings, funky decor. It just kind of feels cozy and comfortable. And I've never been to Russia, but I feel like they probably kind of capture the essence of like what it feels like in Russia.
The Russian Vodka Room would actually be a really great spot for you to go before a Broadway show. You could hit their happy hour, have a bite to eat, and then go to your Broadway show. It's going to be like a 10-minute walk or less to most of the theaters.
So that's this episode's You'll Have to Check It Out segment, Russian Vodka Room, that's in Midtown Manhattan. And now back to breathtaking views in the city.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right, next on our list, Brooklyn Botanic Garden. The Brooklyn Botanic Garden is, I don't want to say underrated because it is pretty well known and it's pretty popular, but I think like, especially if you're visiting, it might not be on your radar. It should be though. It is a 52-acre space. It has an unbelievable amount and variety of like plants, trees, flowers. They have a bunch of cherry blossoms at the right time of the year. They have rose gardens. I mean, massive rose garden, like the size where like, it felt like that scene in Alice in Wonderland where they're like running through like the maze of the rose gardens. You know what I'm talking about? She doesn't know. Most of you probably know, hopefully, what I'm talking about. But
that movie freaked me out as a kid. I don't know why. I maybe saw it like a couple times and it just like scared me.
That's fair.
But I'm sure someone's going to get your analogy.
They will, hopefully. If not, just know massive sprawling rose gardens, Japanese gardens, and so much more. Obviously, again, time of the year will make a difference here for what's like in bloom, but no matter when you go, it's breathtaking. And the place that you have to go to for sure inside the Brooklyn Botanic Garden is the Japanese Hill and Pond Garden. It literally feels like you're being transported to Kyoto. Like we've been to Japan, we've experienced like all the gardens and ponds and temples, and it feels like that, just like dropped in the middle of Brooklyn. It's absolutely wild.
Like Devin said, depending on the time of year, you're going to get different flowers and different things that are in bloom. When we went, there were like so many different colors of tulips everywhere, and that was really pretty. I think we had just missed the cherry blossoms, but there were like the biggest peony bushes I've ever seen, with like the biggest peonies that smelled incredible. Really, really fun, nice spot to walk around. Highly recommend.
And the nice part about Brooklyn Botanic Garden is that it is good for all ages, like anywhere from kids up to seniors. Like it's a great place. Okay, $22 per ticket is the price. If you are a New York resident, you can often get in for free via Culture Pass if you have a library card, but that's the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. Definitely check that out. Okay, kind of swinging to the other end of the spectrum here in regards to types of views is number 9, Times Square, particularly at night. Times Square, it's an iconic landmark in New York City. The first time you go to Times Square, if you can, I recommend going and like taking the subway into Times Square, and at night and you pop out and it's just this flood of bright lights and screens and energy, and it really can kind of take your breath away. Like, it's a little awe-inspiring. It's overwhelming. It's intense. Like, it's very stimulating, but there's not very many places like that where you just engulfed in like lights and colors and screens.
It definitely can be a really crowded area. Like, I wouldn't necessarily recommend hanging out here for like an extended amount of time, but it is really cool to like Devin said, pop out of the subway and just see all of the lights, all of the performers. There's going to be people trying to sell you things. There might be people trying to swindle you. Don't fall for that. We have a whole episode on how to avoid getting trapped by things like that. But really, like, there's nothing that compares to the energy of Times Square at night.
Like Ashley said, once you're there, it's free to just walk and roam around, but we recommend when you're ready to leave, go explore somewhere nearby, like Hell's Kitchen. We have an entire neighborhood guide covering Hell's Kitchen, unbelievable amounts of restaurants, bars, fun things to do. We're going to take a quick break to mention our free transportation guide. If you are coming to New York City for the first time or the 10th time and you need a refresher on how to get around the Big Apple, this is the answer. It is 100% free, and it covers everything from navigating the subway, getting a taxi, getting to and from the airports, biking around the city, and all the things that are important to make sure you maximize your time in New York City. So go to bettertogetherhere.com and click the button that says free navigation guide to sign up. All right, next on our list, you might not think of this. Again, this is kind of one of the more unique ones we wanted to include, but flying in and out of LaGuardia. Obviously, this is paid, the cost of your airplane ticket, but you've likely got to fly into somewhere. So these views, when you take off and land in LaGuardia, they're a million times better than Newark. They're a lot better than JFK. And you just get these unparalleled views of like the expansiveness that is New York. Obviously, you're going to need a window seat ideally for this, but when you take off in particular, a lot of the runways, like you'll take off and they'll do like
they'll turn to give you the view.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing that for the view or just to change directions.
That might just be their flight path, but
let's just say it's for the views. But either way, yeah.
The pilot's like, look at this.
Yeah, out to the right side, you'll see the Manhattan skyline. But it really is beautiful. And it's, I feel like especially if it's your first time coming into New York and you can land in LaGuardia and just like look out the window and just see what you're about to experience, it's pretty iconic.
Landing in LaGuardia is kind of crazy too, because you're like pretty much above the water, like right before you land, and you're like, are we about to land in the water? And then the runway's under you.
We have a full episode comparing the best airports to fly in and out of. Spoiler, it's LaGuardia. Okay, on to the next one. Number 11, the beaches. You probably don't think of lying on the beach when you plan a New York City adventure, but the city really does have some top-notch beachfront areas. The best part, most of them are accessible via public transit. And that like is, again, the whole of New York for so many reasons. And like the calling card of New York is like you can get so many places that are unique and have variety via public transit. So some of the popular beaches, obviously mostly in the summer, but Coney Island, Long Beach, Rockaway Beach, Orchard Beach, Jones Beach. I mean, there's a ton of them. We'll link to a great article I found that kind of goes through 7 of the popular ones. But again, they're free to go to in most cases. You just have to pay for your public transit to get there, which is anywhere from like $2.90, or if you take the ferry, for example, to Rockaway Beach, it's I think $4.50, but very affordable, beautiful beaches. Some of them better than others, but a great kind of unique way to have a different experience in your New York travels. Okay, number 12, one of our favorite things to do overall, but some of our favorite views is biking or walking down the Hudson River Parkway. It's on the far west side of Manhattan. It's along the water, and it's just this picturesque walkway and bike path where you get unbeatable views of the Hudson River and then the kind of surrounding city. And you also kind of get some great views of Jersey in certain parts. Certain parts you can see the Statue of Liberty off in the distance. I mean, it's massive too. It goes from basically like 59th Street in Midtown all the way down to like the financial district. It's pretty much the entire west side of Manhattan.
For me, there's just something about like being near the water or on the water that's really special to me. So I love like pretty much anytime Devin and I are going to go downtown and we're not in a rush or late, we are hopping on a bike, popping over to the Hudson River Parkway and riding down. It's really cool because you have a wide array of things to look at on your way down. They have everything landscaped really beautifully. So throughout the year, you have different flowers that you're kind of riding your bike past. On your right, if you're going south, you're going to see the Intrepid, which is an old naval ship that's been since retired. It's been turned into a museum, but that's like a really huge, crazy thing to see just in the middle of Manhattan. Lots of like landscaped parks, really beautiful spot to ride a bike or walk down.
Yeah, and what's nice too is you don't have to like make a full day out of it or a full experience. You can even, if you're just kind of more on the west side, you could just pop over to the Hudson River Parkway, walk for 10 or 15 minutes and end up back in the city, you know, or like Ashley said, get a city bike near Midtown, bike all the way down to the financial district. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful, especially at the right time of year. An iconic experience we've had a couple times is on 4th of July when the fireworks were happening kind of more on the southern tip or maybe even the west side in the Hudson. I don't remember for sure, but we just biked down the Hudson River Parkway as the fireworks were going off. And so we're like biking, seeing the fireworks, the bright lights of the city. I mean, it unparalleled. So we highly, highly recommend exploring the Hudson River Parkway, which one of the places that you may stumble into if you do that is number 13 on our list, and that is Little Island and the top of Pier 57. We've done an entire episode about Pier 57. Know this. Pier 57 has a food hall and a rooftop park. The rooftop park is completely free and it's open for a pretty wide part of the day. You get amazing views of downtown Manhattan from the rooftop at Pier 57.
Because you're on a pier, you're kind of like jetted out into the water a little bit, so you just have a better vantage point to look at the Manhattan skyline that you would if you're actually like on the island of Manhattan.
And then Little Island, which is right next to it, is a unique park that is built on top of the water. It's beautifully landscaped. It kind of has this winding path that traverses up to this lookout point. It can be very crowded depending on the time of day. So if you can go during more of like off hours, that's better. But again, beautifully landscaped, tons of trees and flowers. I mean, this little pocket of the Hudson River Parkway, unbeatable when it comes to views of the city.
I specifically recommend this area if you want to go and have like a snack or like a drink before you're going to go to dinner. Like go grab some food, grab a drink, head up to the roof and watch the sunset, and then you can go do your dinner plan somewhere.
Great idea. Okay, next on our list, number 14, the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Reservoir. This is in Central Park as well. The views are similar-ish to what you get at the Great Lawn, but what's unique about the reservoir is it's a circular reservoir. It's actually like 1.58 miles, and it has kind of a walking and running track, so you could go do that full loop. But the really cool part about the reservoir is that you get these amazing views of basically all the city that surrounds the park. So you can see the west side buildings, you can see the east side buildings, you can see some of the downtown buildings, you can see some of the uptown buildings. I honestly recommend doing the full loop. It's not super far, again, like 1.5 miles, but if you walk that for 30 to 40 minutes, you're just going to get these unbelievable views of all kinds of parts of the park. And there's the reservoir right there, which is beautiful. Sometimes there's a fountain, big old fountain thing that's on. It's amazing.
Usually a lot of ducks and other birds kind of chilling in the water. If you're a bird nerd, this would be a good spot to do some bird nerding.
And it's typically pretty quiet and serene. Other water features in Central Park, like the lake, which is near Bethesda Fountain, is often just a little more crowded and there's more going on. But the reservoir is much more quiet and serene. Great place to just have a chat with a friend, listen to some music, and it's completely free. You get great views. Okay, last on the list are any of the ferries. So New York City has a very extensive ferry system. Most of it is for commuting. Obviously, there are the subways that can get you around, but they have ferry options as well that bring people from different boroughs and different parts of the city into other areas. So there are a bunch of them, but some of the popular ones for really nice views is the Sound View, the Staten Island Ferry, and the Rockaway Beach Ferry. The main ferry system in New York City, it's $4.50, so it's a little bit more expensive than the subway, but really to get out on the water and to see these amazing views for $4.50, There are paid boat tour options that you can take, and some of them are worth the money and it's a different experience, but like to be able to get out for that cheap onto the water and see the skyline from close up but out on the water, it's just, you can't really beat it.
I feel like taking a ferry is a really good way to like grasp how large the city is, because I don't know, like New York City feels huge even when you're just on the street walking around looking up at the tall buildings, but when you zoom out and you're seeing that from a boat on the water, you see truly how large Manhattan is.
And one of the best ferry options that we recommend is the Staten Island Ferry. 2 reasons why it's really good. Number 1, it's completely free, which don't get scammed. People will try and sell you tickets for the Staten Island Ferry. They are scammers. So it's free, number 1. But number 2, it takes you to Staten Island, but you go pretty close to the Statue of Liberty. So a lot of people, we recommend, instead of doing the full like day of going to Ellis Island and going to the Statue of Liberty and paying the money, and like it's a good 3 to 5 hour experience, you take the Staten Island Ferry. It's like roughly 20 to 30 minutes actually out on the water. And then as soon as you get to Staten Island, you can hustle over and just take the next boat that's coming straight back to Manhattan. And you get unbelievable views of the city, of the Statue of Liberty, just the expansiveness of New York. And it is amazing. All right, we flew through those, but those are 15 unique, breathtaking views that you can get in New York City. We hope that you get to do at least a handful of these. Honestly, you could probably do a bunch in your trip and just tack them on to different parts of your itinerary. If you have not already, sign up for our newsletter, bettertogetherhere.com/newsletter. We email once a week. Also, when you sign up, you get access to our Ultimate NYC Transportation Guide, which covers everything you need to know about getting around the city, using the subway, getting to and from the airport, hailing taxis, biking. It's expansive. I think it's like 40 plus pages. It might even be 60 pages. It is a ton of information. Sign up for that. And when you sign up for a newsletter, you get access to our curated collection of Google Maps lists, which we have categorized by cuisine, bars. This views list is on there. So make sure you sign up at bettertogetherhere.com/newsletter. And other than that, we'll catch you on the next episode.